The miners on these levels have recently been tested by doctors. The checks are for radon gas and dust-related illnesses. For one expert driller, the news is not good.
I had an X-ray, chest X-ray, about 6 to 8 weeks ago. The coal board come and visit every 5 years now, and everybody's X-rayed. And I was called back in to see the company doctor last week, and unfortunately I've got the very beginnings of silicosis. It's a shock when you get something like this, and I think people sometimes believe that they're invincible, you know, and to be careful about what you do. There are certain things that you can do to make sure that this doesn't happen. Things like drilling dry, I mean, we've all done it, and it's probably the most dangerous thing you can do. Sometimes you want to pop a hole in somewhere, and it's a bit of a pain putting a water hose on, getting water in, and one thing and another, and you just think, well, I've only got one to drill, and I'll drill it. All the water goes off. And of course, if you drill without water, it creates an incredible amount of dust, and it's very fine. And that's the dust that causes the problem. The doc said to me, he said, you've got white finger, you're deaf, and now you've got dust on your lungs. It's about time you thought about it, I suppose. Well, he may be right, yeah.
You always think it will never happen to you, but when you have your chest X-rays every 5 years and you get called in then to see the doctor, something's wrong, you think, it brings it home to you then that it could happen to you, but I don't really know anything else. And like I say, to keep your standard of living the way it is, you've got to earn the money, and there's nowhere else for us to earn that sort of money down here. So it's a case of either going without or trying to give your children what you can and earn the money.
I get up when I want, except on Wednesdays when I get rudely awakened by the dustman. I put my trousers on, have a cup of tea, and I think about leaving the house. I feed the pigeons, I sometimes feed the sparrows too. It gives me a sense of enormous well-being. And then I'm happy for the rest of the day. Safe in the knowledge there will always be a bit of my heart devoted to it. All the people, so many people, they all go hand in hand through their park line.
When she's not at the disco, she's sorting out the dust levels underground at South Crofty. Karen McCaig is the mine's ventilation engineer.
Crofty has just allowed me to do the job that I want to do, and this is the only place that I could have done what I wanted to do in this country. So I'm forever grateful for them, really, and I can't believe what I do here. I can't believe the reports I have to write, the advice I give, and just Crofty as an entity is great to me, let alone the actual mine.
The trammers, the men moving ore from the areas of blasting, arrive at one of the dustiest parts of the mine, the crusher. This is where the large lumps of rock are smashed into smaller pieces before being transported to the top of the mine. As she's in charge of air quality in every level, Karen has to travel a long way on Shanks's pony. Her current aim is to carry out extensive tests on where the most dangerous areas of dust in the air are located, South Crofty has a good record for minimising risk, and Karen's been brought in to make it even safer. She uses the latest piece of equipment to record information for later analysis. Fans are needed to keep the air cool in strategic parts of the mine. The work can be backbreaking, to say the least. These miners have the job of demolishing the rocks which couldn't slip through the gaps in the crusher. Unlike the prisoners of old, in the infamous chain gangs, Crofty does pay them for this. For the trammers, it's time for croust, the miners' word for lunch. Sometimes it's sandwiches, sometimes it's pasties, always a flask of tea. Karen provides some lunchtime entertainment, a few black and white photographs from a mining archive.
Right.
Cornishmen with names like Trounston, Bullen and Wotton have spent decades building up libraries of pictures so that the legend of tin should never be forgotten.
We showed them for it.
Pardon? I always do it.
Is that Charlie, honestly?
They look like a young Les Matthews. Right.
How old is it?
Yeah.
I do. She's got the hanging in.
It's only in the 1990s that women have become part of that picture.
What's this?
Time drill machine.
Do you guys want to look at
Where's
these?
that to?
Yeah.
We got these wrong.
Got them wrong.
Yeah. Been going for over 200 years. They've started mining around here, but just to have a tin mine going in Cornwall, in this part of the world, is pretty amazing. I think it could have died a long time ago, but it hasn't. I'm definitely not management, but the workers don't see me as a worker either. I'm on the other side. I found that out when I fell out with the fitters on 420. They wanted their fan moved and they said that it was too noisy, so they didn't speak to me. I went in and there was 10 fitters just sitting there. They wouldn't speak until one of them piped up, and then I just walked out and said, "Stuff you."
Returning to the surface has become a joy for the miners. Temperatures have been soaring. On some of the difficult confined areas, it has reached over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Even the most hardy miners are suffering. Mark Kaczmarek, who's been working on a steep incline, comes up feeling unwell.
Boiling down there.
I get some heat exhaustion stuff at first aid in a minute. Place of salt, it's further out today.
Well, I rang him up today on 4:20, and I reckon the fan wasn't even on. Somebody switching it off.
When the sizer can't work without that fan working.
No, I thought that fan was tripped in though, so...
Well, when we came out from the station, it was just full of dust. It was bloody...
So we rang him up and said, switch the fan on. After 5 minutes, it was okay, it cleared.
It did clear.
I'll just phone, I'll go and check, see if it's done, and I will.
It's wet, but it's not water.
I quite admire them because, well, basically they're there every hour, 8 hours a day. They have no choice whether to go underground or stay on service like I do. Have to go underground, they have to drill, and it is hard manual labour.
Like all miners, Mark has a moan, but after a shower, he'll be down again.
When I was a kid, we went down slate mines, and I remember really liking it. They turn off the lights in these massive caverns, and I just loved it as a kid, and I'm sure that's what half tempted me to come to go into mining, and here I am. I've got no qualms about it whatsoever. Get in the cage and go down.
Things will be 10 times easier, but the air quality is so much better. When you're trying to breathe in your lungs, feel like you're burning and your blood's boiling. You've got to get out of there and get cold air in there. You've got to walk out a mile to get it. And go back in and work.
This is such good experience for me, being here in my job, that I won't leave it. And South Crofty is growing on me already.
There's about 35, 36 Fahrenheit. That's the air temperature, and it's humid as well, so it's just a killer every day.
I think it takes commitment to be able to miss out on 8 hours a day, like. And if it's a nice day, I don't want to go down, I don't have to go down. But they do.
I enjoy working here. I mean, I've left here on 2 occasions and I've always come back. I enjoy the work and the people that you work with, like, you know. I hope that there are long-term prospects, and I would certainly stay here provided the work picks up. Consequently, the money will pick up, and hopefully, yeah, long-term prospects here, like, you know.